let's begin with just a minute of silence. Take a moment to check in, to feel in. At this moment, just notice, what can I hear? Listening for another sound, a third sound. Maybe just holding 2 or 3 of these sounds in your presence, in your awareness at the same time. And then noticing, even with eyes closed, the presence of light. Noticing the temperature on your skin, if there's any air or breeze moving past you. Noticing your sense of touch, the way that your body lands on your yoga mat, the way that your clothes land on your skin. And then taking your tongue and just running the tongue along the inside and outside edges of the teeth. And then maybe taking a big gulp or 2 or even a yawn and just stretching out through the mouth and our ability to taste. And taking a nice deep breath in here and just noticing now the quality of your breath. And if you can sense any qualities on this air that you breathe in, the way that it smells, the temperature of that air. And just using these outward senses to help us bring a sense of presence into any moment of the day. Any moment being able to stop, pause, to open up our ears, eyes, taste buds, and just check in. And for now, turning those senses inwards. From all these outside sensations, take your awareness inside the body. Is there anything that you can hear inside the body? And maybe you just imagine you can hear it at this point, just getting curious about the sounds, the feeling, what it looks like inside the body, such as the way the organs rest upon or near one another, the way the muscles hug the bones, the sound of the heart or the digestive system. And then for one more moment here before we move into our wake-up routine, just bringing a little attention into your posture and how the inner experience meets this outer experience. Stacking the bones in the spine, finding the strength to hold the body with integrity, maybe opening up the shoulders, grounding through the seat and reaching through the crown, and feeling the way that the skin is this contact between, or this piece that moves between inside and outside. And expanding a little further off of the skin and just feeling into your field, maybe visualizing that embracing you, holding you here in your posture. And we'll begin to tap on the body. And I invite you, if you'd like, to just listen, follow along, even with eyes closed, or if you'd like to open or just check where we're at, feel free to do so. We're going to start by finding the knobs of the collarbones and drop right below onto the chest, and we'll use the first 3 fingers of each hand to tap right below the collarbone, known as K27, the end of the kidney meridian. And we'll begin to deepen the breath here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. No judgment on how you breathe, the depth of the breath, or anything that comes up, but just starting to notice the sensation as it arises. We bring these exercises into our practice to help shift and bring the energy into its optimal balance and direction of flow. So we might feel some stickiness, we might feel some resistance or emotions or physical sensation. And we just keep an open mind, an invitation to stay curious as we move through these practices. Breathing in through the nose, one more breath, and out through the mouth. With one or both hands, move your tap down to the center of the sternum. Perhaps sitting up a little taller here for your thymus thump. Stimulating the immune system, keeping us strong and healthy. Nice deep breaths. Really take that audible exhale. Doing 2 things for us as we take this exhale. Connecting the core energies that run around the front and the back of the body, at the back of the throat. It sort of sends this energy strongly through that point. But it also helps release any stagnancy. Helps release excess emotion on the breath. And we'll go to the side seam of the body. You can use both hands, fists, or fingers, about halfway down onto the spleen points. Nice deep breath. You can really dig in here too. Sometimes instead of a tap, you can massage. Both ways are really helpful for stimulating that energy line of the spleen. And then giving a little shake through the arms, and we'll do one more tap here on the cheekbones. Right beneath the eyes, it's a little lighter tap here to help ground the body. And then we'll continue around the outsides of the eyes onto the temples and just feeling for any tender areas, especially in this spring season. I've heard so many people talk about allergies, and I really, I used to suffer more so from allergies, and I really believe that these practices, supporting your immune system, it really helps in these transitional times. You can tap all the way around the eyes, around the eyebrows, inner eyes, and just feeling for any tender areas. And then shake off the hands and just let them rest on the thighs. Take a moment and notice how you feel after this initial tapping. It's that sensation both in the body and outside the body, a vibration that sort of moves between both worlds. And then we'll begin to lift one arm at a time. We'll deepen the breath again, so it doesn't matter which arm you start with, but just taking a nice big stretch up. And as you exhale, just letting that hand drop down to the thigh. Other arm. Other arm. Big breath out. And one more time. And bringing the arms up to a cactus shape. And we'll start to cross crawl. So finding a little twist through the spine, opposite hand to thigh, as we help the energy follow the movement of the body and connect the brain and the body. A crossover energy that helps us think more clearly, be more coordinated. I don't know if I mentioned this in our in-person class before, but before I learned these energy medicine techniques, I was already practicing yoga and had really an intuitive sense of working with energy. And I used to do these crossover patterns before soccer matches. I was an athlete, and I recognized that when I would do these sort of crossover poses or practices, that I would be a lot more coordinated on the soccer field. So it really makes a difference, but not only in sports, it helps us not fall off the edge of the sidewalk or just whatever it is we do through our day. And we'll slow that down and bring both hands right in front of the pubic bone. And this is where we take a moment to set an intention and to deeply seal it into the body. But more than that, this technique called the zip up, it also helps strengthen our field. It helps us, vulnerability is a really beautiful thing, right? We want to be vulnerable, but at the same time, in certain scenarios, we don't want to be overly vulnerable, right? And so this technique, it sort of gives a balance to that. It zips up your central energy so that you can be strong in your space. It's sort of like setting that boundary for yourself, that whatever energy you don't want to come in, you can hold your space. And so you can take a quiet moment, let a word of high vibration come into your mind, and just let that be your intention today. Just a word or an energy. Trust what comes. And then 3 times we'll do our zip up. Inhale, sweeping the hands straight up the front of the body, all the way overhead. And exhale to flip the palms and spread that energy out into your field. We'll breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Inhale right up the front. Exhale out. And one more time. Middle finger to the belly button, other middle finger to the third eye. Press in and draw up for 3 more cleansing breaths. Soften into shoulders. And letting the hands come back down to the thighs. Palms up or down, it's your choice what feels best for you today. If you're drawing something in or really retreating inwards. For me, yesterday I felt very retreated in. I would have had my hands down. Today I feel this need to turn the palms up, and maybe it's an invitation for this eclipse or full moon energy to come in, or just maybe whatever, I don't know, just trusting the energy of whatever is coming in today. Let's begin to move and make some more space through the body so our energy can flow nice and strong all through our day. You can come onto the soles of the feet here and keep them a little bit wider. The hands can just be behind you as your support. And we're just going to windshield wiper the knees side to side. They don't need to come all the way down. Just go to your extent as you start to invite in this twisting of the spine and hips. Then the next time you rotate to the left, we're going to bring the right hand all the way around into a twist. You can either stay up on your hands or lower all the way down onto the forearms. Turn your left palm up and then place your right hand like a cuff over the left wrist. We're just covering a couple of points here on the wrist to support the lungs and the heart. And this is really the difference between yoga and energy medicine. Yoga is that we're able to bring in, with not much more effort needed, these little energy medicine techniques. And I invite you here to feel into the pulse under the cuff of the right hand. When we massage, tap, or hold points, it helps activate them. It can also, truly, it helps balance them. So it could activate, or it could help them kind of calm down, be soothed. If you can notice your pulse here, let the head relax, just dropping into the twist and opening up through the spine. Get curious about the sensations, maybe noticing some of the fingers, feeling a little tingle. And not that tingle of like nerve tingles, right? But the tingle of energy moving through, like a warmth or a coolness or even just a fullness. And you can uncuff the hand, turn both palms down, and just slowly start to press yourself up and out of that twist. Keep the legs as they are. Sit up nice and tall. And then we'll take a gentle counter twist. This time we'll keep the spine tall and just bring your right hand to your right foot, the sole of the foot. The left hand can stay on the left knee. And slowly feel the ribs and the chest starting to turn around. If it's okay for the neck, you can gaze over the right shoulder. And most importantly, just breathing fully, completely, and helping make space through the body. That's our number one rule of energy, is that energy wants to move and it needs space to move. We'll unwind from the twist and then just switching legs. So you can rotate them the other way. And we'll walk the hands over towards the right side, coming down onto the forearms if you can. And taking your time to ease into that twist. The right palm will turn up, or if you're up on the hands, you can also just cuff the left hand around the right wrist. If you're down on the forearms, you can turn the palm up to make that cuff a little easier. And we'll hold here for a moment. Just noticing where your mind goes as you hold postures. especially those that become a little more yin, the ones that we hold for longer moments of time. I'm just getting curious about the conversation that you have with yourself in these moments. Our practice is an opportunity to support that relationship with self. So maybe purposefully, consciously, you can whisper a little message of love or an intention, a message around your intention today. Speaking it to yourself, for yourself. And we'll uncuff the hand, press up onto the palms really slowly here. Give the spine time to unwind. We'll come up through neutral spine, letting both of those sits bones start to anchor down. Right hand will stay on the knee, and then the left hand will come around to the bottom of the left foot. And feeling the belly, the chest, the shoulders, and lastly the gaze turn towards the left. A few fluid breaths that move up and down the spine, that fill up the belly, the ribs, a little into the chest. And then unwind, and we'll come over into tabletop. So you can swing your legs behind you, planting the hands, palms open, and move a little more through the spine here through cow and cat. So you're familiar with the posture. You can start to move into that on your own, synchronizing your breath with your movement. For cow pose, we take a nice big breath in, belly drops, chest forward, and exhale to press against the ground and round the spine. Remember, there's no judgment about the sensations that arise, but just really a gratitude for the opportunity to work with your body in this way. I invite you to take this movement off the railroad tracks, maybe going a little side to side. You can move the neck here if you'd like, or even shifting the hips back or around. So important to nurture the spine. And lots of reasons to be grateful for a healthy spine. My partner has struggled with chronic back pain for as long as I've known him, over the last decade, and it truly has shown me how important it is to be grateful for my own ability to move with ease for the majority of the time. You know, we all have aches and pains at times, but reason to be grateful. And we're going to tuck the toes here, so you can start to come back to neutral position. You can tuck your toes and shift the hips back to the heels, just stretching the bottoms of the feet. Let the chin be soft so the back of the neck can have its length. And then coming all the way forward and lower down onto the forearms. You can untuck the toes and just walk the feet back. Feeling the legs get nice and long as you come into a Sphinx pose. The head can start low, just finding the position of elbows under the shoulders. And then tracing the chin along the collarbones and inviting movement into the neck, bringing an ear towards the shoulder and letting it roll around to the other side. Going side to side at your own pace. Sort of like a rag doll through the neck, just even the shoulders can get a little wiggle. And then pressing into the forearms, neck comes back to neutral, and now start to engage the legs, lifting up to your extent through the belly, the chest, the shoulders gently draw back, the gaze comes up last. Take a nice deep breath here into your belly, stretching the front of the body, building a little strength into the back. We have these really long, beautiful lines of connective tissue that run from the heels all the way up the back and connect into the forehead, and all the way from the tops of the feet up the body to the forehead. And so you can maybe visualize or just feel into that nice length and connection between toes to head on front and back of the body. Then we'll lower all the way down, hands come underneath the shoulders. Press into the hands, coming back to your tabletop, tuck your toes, and start to peel the hips up into a downward facing dog. And as soon as you arrive here, you can pedal through the feet. Don't stress about making the perfect shape or what it looks like, but just feel into these morning stretches. And then continuing that pedal of the feet, taking a walk to the front of your mat. It's a morning stroll, coming into a forward fold. You can bend the knees generously, hold on to the elbows if you'd like, or let them be supported on the ground or blocks. And just take a few deep breaths here, letting that back body receive a full stretch and opening. Movement or not, it's up to you. The important part is to breathe and feel. And while we're in this fold, we're going to clear the gates of the feet and hands. So we'll start with the feet. You can use your index finger and just wiggle that finger in between the long bones of the feet until they come off in the little gullies between each toe. So we're making space between those long bones, the phalanges of the feet and hands. And we'll just do that off of every bone in between the toes. And then we'll massage each toe with a little pinch at the tip of each toe to help that energy move and make those little hairpin turns around the tip of each toe. And then you'll bend your knees even more, rest the elbows on the knees, and we'll do the same thing with the hands, one at a time, massaging in the long bones of the hand, pinching in the webbing between each finger. Taking your time here to feel any tender points, to give that a little extra love, going down each finger with a little pinch at the tip of each finger, or a little rub. Both sides. Maybe taking just a deep breath. You could shake off the hands. One more breath for a fold. And then we'll bend the knees and slowly tracing up the center seam of the leg, starting at the big toes, we'll start to rise, drawing energy up. Breathe as you go, flaring out at the hips, let the blood rebalance, coming up to the shoulders, and then tracing down to the side body where we tapped spleen earlier and just giving a little buzz into the side, helping anchor that in. If you're not already at the front of the mat, you could take a step forward, and we'll go through a little flow here. Inhale, arms sweep up and overhead. Celtic weave, weaving the arms through your field as you come to a forward fold. Hands plant on the mat, step the left foot back, lower the left knee, low runner's lunge. Left hand stays down, right arm comes up into a twist. Begin to make big circles around the length of the body, feeling into the field around you. Switch directions with your circles. And then when the hand comes up at the top, flick each finger off the thumb, shooting up little sparks, and then all the fingers off the thumb a few more times. Celtic weave, big golden figure eights all through your field here as you bring the right elbow down to the right thigh. Squaring your chest down, tuck the back toe, lift the knee. Bring the left heel down for extended side angle. Feel really firm in the legs. Use the strength of the legs and the belly to open up the chest, bringing the left arm up to the sky. Staying light in that bottom arm. Let's flip up the palm like you're holding a pie on your hand and circle that left hand like you're drawing big circles on the ceiling. It's important here to find that little hug in the low belly to protect the back. The next time that those fingers lean back, you might be able to really open that shoulder. See if you can draw it back. And then again, Celtic weave, big golden figure eights. Take your time moving through all these little spaces of the body and the field as you come back down to the mat. Step back into tabletop. Inhale, belly lowers, look forward. Exhale, round the spine, cat. Shift the hips back to the heels, child's pose. We'll continue to move. Inhale, table. Exhale, child's pose. Table. Child's pose. Yogic breath in through the nose. Table, tuck the toes. Downward dog, breathing out. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. And one more time, inhale to plank, and then lower down through the mat. You can do that any way you'd like. Chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. You can roll it down. For baby cobra, hands right under the ribs. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. And as you exhale here, we'll come into crocodile. So crossing the hands, planting the back of the head on the hands, and rocking the hips side to side. In yoga, we usually call it crocodile. In energy medicine, we were taught this as triple warmer rock. As a reminder, that triple warmer energy, it helps regulate the heat in the body and moisture, but it also is really connected to the nervous system and this sort of rocking and grounding the head. It helps bring the system into that parasympathetic state. You can pause the movement, just take a rest, a check-in point. Anytime you come into this pose, it's a really beautiful opportunity to let go, especially of any worries or fears or concerns. We plug directly into the earth here through the head and hands. And the earth can hold your worries. The earth transforms these worries and loves them, recycles them. And we'll bring the hands back under the shoulders one more time for baby cobra. Anchor down into the tops of the legs. Inhale, lift the head and shoulders. Maybe you press a little higher. And then exhale, roll back down, finding your way to tabletop. We're going to step the left foot through between the hands. You can use your hand to help get the foot there if you need. Oh, hi, buddy. What's up, pal? And then we'll bring the left arm up to the sky into the twist. And we'll take big circles through that left arm. It's rare for him to be up this early. He's usually sleeping. You can switch directions of your circles. And then when the hand gets to the top, flick each finger off of the thumb and all the fingers off the thumb. And then Celtic weave, golden figure eights all through your field, strengthening this field. Left arm comes to the left thigh, tuck the back toe, lift the knee, and then pop that back heel down, coming into extended side angle. Peeling open the arm, flipping the palm up to the sky, feeling the hug in the low belly to support the back. And then circling the top hand like you're balancing a pie, or maybe like you're smearing some color up onto the sky, stirring up the clouds. You can switch directions. next time that those fingers come up towards the sky, really peel it back. Let those right fingers open, that right shoulder open. Celtic weave, right hand comes down to the earth. And stepping back into your tabletop, we'll go through that same flow of cow and cat. And then dipping hips back to the heels into child's pose. Inhale to table. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, table. Child's pose. The next time coming to downward dog. Inhale, table, tuck the toes. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, down dog. 2 more times, plank, down dog. And on the third one here, lowering down from plank, your choice. Cobra, inhale, strong legs. Exhale, triple warmer rock or crocodile. Let the head fall onto the hands, rock the hips side to side. You can pause the movement when you're ready and just take a moment to release the worries, the fears, the concerns. Trusting in your intelligent, energetic systems that keep you alive and well. Trusting when they say to rest. Trusting when they say it's time to go. And forming the best relationship that you can with all those beautiful systems of yourself. We'll bring the hands under the shoulders, baby cobra one more time. You go to your height. Keep those legs nice and strong. And release. Pressing up through table. And then downward facing dog. Upper arm spiral out. We'll walk the hands and feet together at the center of the mat. Coming into a fold here. And then squat down so that you're balancing on the toes. And we're going to move through the 5-element flow today. So in the past few classes, we've really just focused on expelling the venom, on that wood element of spring. Today we're going to bring in all 5 and go through the whole range of emotions. And the idea of this flow is that everything in life goes through this cycle. It goes through this cycle of birth, of growth, of transformation, and of letting go, of kind of integrating. And it's that moment of grief at the end of a cycle, right before you move into something new. And it's a constant dance of all of these parts of life. And so we mimic that here in our breath and in our movement and intention to help us flow through whatever it is that we're going through. So we start here in this curled in shape like a seed. One hand can be around the knee. It's for the element of water. Water is the embryonic stage. It's that stage of new beginnings. And so the emotions associated with this are fear and courage. Fear of the unknown. What comes next? Where do we go from here? It's sort of a dark stage where, you're still in that shell. And so there can be that element of fear that comes up. The sound we'll make is WHO. To help move us into the courage, to help move us forward from this stage. So we'll take a nice deep breath in and blow it out. Let's do one more breath like that. Bringing both hands to the mat, lift your hips into your forward fold.
The water element flows into the wood element. This is the one that we know well from our last few classes, expelling the venom. In this stage, we start to grow, we start to take action, we move into our assertiveness. The other piece of that, though, is maybe the frustration or anger that comes along with that growth. And so we'll use the sound SH to get rid of the junk as we grow, to let go of whatever we don't need to carry, whatever is frustrating us, we can let it go here. So you're weeding your garden, you're weeding whatever junk you're ready to let go of here. And then as you inhale with fists, rise all the way up. SH sound, throw it down. Good, 2 more times. And then we'll come up one more time. Do it slowly. Stay standing. Hands come by the sides. We move into the element of transformation, the fire element. The fire element is a balance of panic, anxieties, and joy or bliss. It can feel really scary to move through the transformation. It can be a sort of, oh man, what's next? I don't know what comes next. And it's important to remember again that all of these are flowing into one another, and so they interact with one another, so that fear of the unknown sort of surfaces again here. The sound we'll use is HA to help us bring down this flame so it doesn't overtake our hearts and brains, so the flame is not overbearing. We bring it down into the cauldron of the belly where that flame can really be held, where that power of transformation is very strong. So I'll show you here first, and then we can do it together. We're basically going to move through, 1, 2, 3, 4 different points with a sound HA. We'll inhale, arms come up, all the fingers come together, and then exhale with an HA sound as the thumbs come to the crown. And then we'll do that again, coming to the third eye. We'll do that again, coming to the heart. And then we'll do that again, coming down, bringing that flame all the way down to the belly button, where we'll flatten the hands on the low belly and take a couple more breaths there. So let's do that together, bringing down the flame. Inhale all the way up to the crown. Inhale up and around to the third eye. Next one to the heart. Next one to the belly button. Flatten the hands on the low belly. Take another deep HA breath. Sweep the hands off the legs, just kind of brushing off, shake them off. And then wrap your hands around the ribs, giving yourself a hug. Start to rock side to side. This next element is the element of earth. This element is a time to take a pause, to see if there's any worry about others, over worry about yourself. It's sort of like we were talking about earlier. I think that would relate to this earth element where you and I are both kind of feeling this, like, oh man, am I maybe getting sick? Like this kind of worry towards ourselves. Why am I feeling this way? And if we use the earth element here, if we ask the earth element what it needs, it's very nurturing. The balance to that worry, that concern is self-love. And so we see that in the hug here that we give ourselves. We ask, what do we need? How can we love ourselves in all of our shapes and forms? And the sound here is really just your ujjayi breath, just your little constriction at the back of the throat. And we'll release that hug, bring the arms up to the sky, hold the breath in for a moment as you pull down from the heavens, whatever it is you need today. Maybe it's that intention, that energy. Trace behind the ears, you can let go of the breath. Reach the arms out wide like wings and come down to a fold. Step onto the hands and take 3 breaths here, pulling up from the arms as you breathe in. And as you exhale, just softening into the fold. Sort of like the back is like lifting up and out of the skin. It's that sort of stretch through the back. One more time, breathing in. Ujjayi breath, breathing out. Release the hands from under the feet. We'll trace up spleen. Up the inseam of the legs, flare out at the hips, come up to the shoulders, and down to the ribs. Give a little buzz massage here. The last element is for metal. It's the element of letting go, of helping integrate the wisdom of the cycle that came before so that we can move into the next with more knowledge, with more wisdom and gratitude. The challenging emotion in that is grief, having to let something go. The sound we'll use is S. It's said that grief is held in the lungs. So this nice long S is just sort of this like pulling out, this release through the lungs. And we'll do this with a series of small back bends. So I'm going to show you again first, and then we'll do it together. The first one is going to be a low back bend. Hands stay down, the glutes engage. As we exhale with that S sound, we'll hug forward like we're gathering all of that wisdom. Fingers almost touch. And then our next back bend is at the height of the shoulders. We'll again hug forward with the S sound. And then the last back bend, that final surrender, is overhead with the arms coming overhead, hugging around the backs of the arms and coming down onto the lungs, which is really like upper outer chest area, where we'll take a couple more breaths. So let's do that together. Starting low, inhale, low back bend, arms and chest open. Exhale, S sound, hug forward. Height of the shoulders, back bend. Exhale, S. Final surrender, letting go, opening up to the gratitude. Exhale, S sound, arms overhead. Keep that sound going. Trace down the arms and land on the chest. Take another deep breath here. One more time. Hands come down by the sides. Take a moment, pause. You can ground the fingers on the thighs if that feels good. Just take note for yourself. If any of those emotions really stood out to you today, or if any of the sounds really felt beneficial to you today. You can come back to them at some point if you have the space to make a little sound or to go through those movements. Even if you don't remember them exactly, just feeling your way through. You know, that's why continued practice is so helpful, because as we practice and practice again, it becomes more ingrained. It's that relationship that with yourself that's formed, and you just know what you need in any moment. And when you don't, you know that you can just pause and sit with it. Let's take the arms up and overhead. Exhale, Celtic weave, come all the way down. We're going to end in a seat today. So you can cross your legs, maybe the opposite leg in front. You can close your eyes. Let the spine relax. Bring your attention to the very seat of the spine. And imagine a light starting to illuminate the very base of the spinal column. And feel that light shining its way up through the spinal column. Visualize it moving up. There might be areas you come across that are hard to shine that light. And so doing your best to let that energy visually move through any areas that might feel a little dark. Visualize it coming up through all the way up into the base of the head, illuminating the entire spinal column and now the entire brain filled with light. And then allow a little fluidity to come into your spinal column, like a blade of grass blowing in the wind. Allow your spine to find a little flow. And feeling that connected or connectiveness between all areas of the spine and the brain. And then we'll pause that movement in your own time. Let it slow down. And allow yourself to simply be bathed in that light. Letting it ripple out from the spinal column, from the brain, that electrical energy moving out through every single cell of your body. The electrical energy of the heart pulsing with that light. Out through the arms, the fingertips, the thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky finger, illuminated. I don't know if you ever watched E.T. It's like when his finger glows, with this energy moving all the way out to this glow at the very tip. And same thing with the legs, running all the way down the legs and out the pinky toe, the fourth toe, middle toe, second toe, and big toe. And every cell of the skin illuminated. It's your actual bioluminescence. We have this glow. And just feeling into that, even if we can't see it, feeling into that glow that radiates off your body into your field, into the collective energy of everyone that exists, of all beings, of all energy. And just recognizing as you interact with people today, whether it's through a computer, whether it's in person or a big group, just bringing in this consciousness that we're all connected through this energy, and just observing how you show up in that space and hold this space firmly with your intention today. With strength and vulnerability. Let's take a nice deep breath here, breathing in. Let it go. Bring your palms together, give them a little rub as we close our practice. Generate a flame between the hands, a little heat. And then shake off the hands and place them over the forehead, eyes, and cheeks. You can give a little rub on your forehead, sort of waking up the muscles of the face, a little rub around the eyes. And then rubbing behind your ears 3 times, like you're tucking hair back. We're tracing backwards along one of the meridians to help smooth, it's that triple warmer, to help soothe the nervous system. And then we'll trace down the neck, hang on the shoulders, giving a little squeeze, and landing one hand over the other on top of the heart. A quiet moment for your prayers, your wishes, your gratitude. I always like to give the reminder to make sure to thank yourself, to thank your body for showing up here, for all of the incredible inner workings of the body and mind. Just saying thank you first and foremost to yourself. And I believe that is really from that gratitude that all other gratitude extends. So from my heart to yours, thank you, thank you, thank you.